The final Super Sentai Versus movie has been released, so I'm gonna go back and take a look at some of the more recent Versus events I've missed out on. Hello everyone, it's thomasjujube, and before I talk about Osama Sentai King-Ohger VS Donbrothers, make sure you let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comments if you've seen it, and let me know where you're coming from too. Like, have you seen King-Ohger? Have you seen Donbrothers? Did you like either of them? Do you hate both of them? I don't know, anything like that. Also, let me know if you like the toys from them, because if you'd like to buy some of your own, I know just the place for you. Today's sponsor, JP Fans, is a Japanese proxy website that lets you buy from Japanese marketplaces like Mercari and Amazon Asia. You can shop for thousands of local Japanese items, including the newest Kamen Rider toys and gadgets, or pre-owned Super Sentai robots from many years ago. Items you wouldn't normally see on your local Amazon and much cheaper compared to the prices on eBay. And compared to other proxy sites, JP Fans has lower service fees per item and free quality photos of your purchase upon arrival. So if you've been hunting for that one specific item or just want to explore what Japan has to offer beyond tokusatsu merchandise, you've got to use my link in the description to sign up and instantly get 8 shipping coupons to make the trip from the private warehouse to your house that much easier. If you'd like a full tutorial on the site and how to use it, make sure you check out my JP Fans introduction video and stop overpaying on your tokusatsu toys and start shopping like a local at JP Fans. I came into this movie as a huge fan of Avatar Sentai Donbrothers, but not the same or anywhere close to the same for King-Ohger. I do have full season reviews on both of those shows if you want to hear my in-depth thoughts. I'm not going to give you everything in this video because you don't need that. But honestly, I think this movie's amazing. One of the best Versus movies ever. The main reason is that when I boot up a Versus movie, the main thing I want to see, like the reason I opened a movie about Donbrothers and King-Ohger is because I want to see a movie about the two casts interacting. I feel like that's the whole point of these, like to see how the characters from one show will react to the characters from another show and stuff like that. And this movie feels like the only idea, like the only thing they've wanted to do is have the Donbrothers and King-Ohger teams interacting. And then they wrote the plot around that. And I say plot very loosely because this movie is shorter than a normal Versus movie because it got paired with the kyoryuger one. And it consists like of the actors just in the green screen rooms yapping at each other and doing comedy skit gags. Like Osama returning in the beginning is a great touch, and he does play the villain role well, but other than sending the Donbrothers into the King-Ohger world, he's not like actively moving the plot along. He's not like trying to take over the world or doing anything, and the heroes aren't really concerned with trying to find a way to beat him. They're more concerned with proving which team is more insane. And it sounds like a complaint, but I genuinely mean that it's all to the benefit of the movie. To me, these two casts are infamous for being full of completely insane people. So of course, if you put all of them in the same room, they're gonna act like completely insane people. And the movie like plays to the insanity of both teams perfectly, because the main confrontation between the two of them happens when they all end up in hell, because they're all terrible people. And so to get to hell, they gotta spend the whole movie dying. And it just, like, it's not like Osama kills all of them. He kills some of them. But most of them are just dying from ridiculous circumstances. Again, like it's just a comedy movie. Gira dies choking on a dumpling. Taro finally dies from lying. Like, just this time he ends up dying. Inuzaka and Sononi just fall to their deaths on a Shuganum bridge. Really gotta fix that, check that. Kijino freezes to death. The lie detector kills like a whole group of them, just like in the original King-Ohger movie. So they really need to get that fixed, because that is crazy. That they just have a killing machine and they actively still use it without thinking it's gonna kill anyone. Kaguragi and Jiro kill each other from wrestling, slamming their chests together. I don't know what they're doing, but like it kills them. And they play it all like totally straight. It's not like a joke. Like it doesn't feel like a joke the way they're presenting it, and that's what makes it funny. Like they're all just like, "Oh man, we ended up in the afterlife," and then they just walk out. Like they didn't actually die. Like there's no explanation for why they could just leave. But they didn't. I don't know. It's stupid, but it's funny. Like, King-Ohger's definitely got like some craziness, but this definitely feels like they took the Don Brothers schizo posting like thing it did for its entire season and injected it into this movie. Even down to having Zenkaiser Black reappear out of nowhere. Like, he just walks into hell with a new toy power-up. Where did it come from? Where did he come from? Who fucking knows? I guess they didn't know in the show either, so I guess that's fine. The power-ups themselves are kind of mid. And I really like the normal King-Ohger power-up and the normal Don Brothers power-up, actually. I don't know. They just swapping the armor and stuff is whatever in this movie, but hey, whatever, you're gonna sell a toy. I do like the roll call gag they do, though. And it's actually way better than the one they do in the Zenkaiser crossover, which that was the show, or the Zenkaiser's the show about like roll call parodies, and I'm still upset that that movie squandered that roll call and like its entire premise. That movie still sucks. My review of it from a few years ago is actually copyright claimed. I don't think anyone noticed. I'm working on fixing and re-uploading it soon, though. It should be out soon, so make sure you're subscribed for when that happens. Speaking of that movie, actually, one thing that I did like in that movie that I bring up here is because like they have like this through line of like lore continuing from the movies back all the way from kyoryuger. A character appears in the Zenkaiser Don Brothers one, and then since Sonoi dies in that one, he's in this movie in the afterlife. And I don't know, it's cool to see them continue like the plot lines they've set up in like a movie that came out a year ago. And it's also just a nice way to have Sonoi appear in this movie because everyone else dies for some reason. Also, another lore thing I liked is that Kijino recognizes the name King-Ohger when Rackley says it. And he recognizes it as the name of the robot that defeated him as a Hitosuki, so he gets scared and runs out, and that's how he dies, by freezing out in the snow. Very funny. There's like a whole bunch of little meta jokes in here. Like, Osamaki says he's this invincible old man in an isekai, because the Don Brothers get like isekai to the King-Ohger world. Haruka and Rita and Himino and Sonona, I guess, have a whole bit about like arguing about writing a kid's show for adults and like the fandom, and like I'm an adult watching a kid's show movie, so like haha, that was very funny, guys. I like that bit. Haruka also like makes insane sounds in this scene, so. And then in the end, Kijino says like a thing when the Don Brothers are about to head home. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, guys. The King-Ohgers can take it from here." And it's like Kijino, the character, would. How does he know that? Like that more on like it's another insane thing to just playing completely straight in this movie. But since the kyoryuger movie played right after this, it's funny. Speaking of that, I have my review of that movie over on my Patreon right now. Not just my review, but the full extended footage. For only $2, you can get access to that extended footage and the same one for plenty of other previous videos and upcoming videos. So consider checking it out if you'd like to help me and the channel out. But like I mentioned up top, the best part of this movie is the interactions between the casts, because they did something really smart here, and they grouped them up very based on like their personalities, not just the colors. I mean, granted, they kind of they either do it by colors or personalities or gender sometimes. And I like that this time they kind of like the Blues, for example, they're paired together, but Jeremy also is here randomly. And the more interesting interactions to me are Jeremy and Saruhara, not Saruhara and Yanma, because White and Blue Don Brother are like, they're both writers, kind of. Like, I guess, yeah, Saruhara's a writer, just not the same kind that Jeremy is. So it's kind of funny to see them like intellectually challenge each other, because they're both insane. Jiro pairing up with Kaguragi instead of Jeremy, because Jeremy's with the Blues, is incredible, because they're both like big, strong, tough guy. Like, I think both actors are like bodybuilders, or like they post a lot about them lifting weights and stuff like that. So having that in this, and then again, that's how they die too, is like really funny to see. The girls and the yellows get matched together, but as I mentioned, like I have the whole thing about writing, and their partners are there too, like in both senses of the word. So I think it made it more interesting. My favorite though is that Kijino gets paired with Rackley's. Like just the concept of the Pink Ranger and the rival Ranger being the ones to talk to each other is kind of insane. But Rackley's is in prison with Suzume, and since Kijino's the wife guy, like, it makes sense. It's really funny. It's also really sad that this is the last appearance of Rackley's in anything King-Ohger, because he's not in the next few movies, and he doesn't even transform in this one. So rip Okuwagata Ohger suit, I guess. So make sure you let me know if you enjoyed King-Ohger versus Donbrothers as much as I did. Subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for my upcoming Super Sentai reviews, and I hope to see you next time.